So I was rewatching what I think is one of the best looking movies of this decade so far, Matt Reeves' The Batman, shot by cinematographer Greg Fraser, and I mean, just look at this. The film is visually stunning. Everybody knows this, and if you don't, shame on you. But once it's in monochrome though, I mean, just take a look at this.
Get out of here, freak. You hear me? That little suit's gonna get all full of blood.
Mine or yours?
That was cool, can't lie, but there's a case to be made that The Batman is a detective mystery thriller more than it is an action movie. So really, it would suit something like this.
Drive.
Jesus.
The Batman already had all of the components of a noir thriller anyway. It's what they call a neo-noir thriller, which is a noir thriller but for a modern time. And in colour, but at its core it is a noir thriller just with a superhero. Which is partly why I think it's such a good comic book movie. It ain't like the usual slop. It's got the inner monologue narration, it's got the murder mystery that ends up involving a larger plot to control the whole city. It was moody, gritty, and grounded. Our hero was depressed. He was not having a good time, and it felt like he was fighting an impossible task. So naturally, altering the saturation and contrast to replicate the classic noir thrillers really enhances the movie's tone and atmosphere, my brother. And the catch is that the movie already looks fantastic, but I wasn't expecting it to translate so well when stripped of its colour. It also allows the dialogue and overall mood to dominate more over spectacle as a result. Through rewatching The Batman in its monochrome state, I learned that because it, in one way or another, has those heavy influences from those other classic neo-noir tales like The French Connection or Chinatown, which in turn were heavily influenced and inspired by those classic noir tales that came before them, it was naturally a great fit for black and white imagery. But there is one other movie it took a lot of inspiration from. Where the Batman's jump to monochrome heightens its already noir roots and makes it more moody and the like, it still has that glimmer of hope at the end. Seven just becomes excessively bleak, with no hope or optimism left at all. It becomes less of a 1990s thriller and more of a nihilistic morality play, which, even that, is much darker than anything else in its genre. Seven was already a dark and twisted experience, but drained of colour, and it just amplifies that feeling tenfold, especially with its bleak and grim ending.
What's in the fucking box?
Other movies that I think really suited a monochrome viewing were more specific genre and time period films. Titanic is about a ship called the Titanic that hit an iceberg and split in half and sank. Sorry for spoiling the ending, but watch the movie in black and white and it becomes more than a movie and feels much more like a documentary. Kind of. Maybe, not really. But more specifically in the sinking scene, which becomes way more terrifying as it shows you just how dark it would have been on that night. Without an artificial moon to illuminate the sea for the audience to see. The Iron Giant. Y'all know the Iron Giant? Classic tale of a young boy befriending a giant robot, set in the backdrop of the height of the Cold War in the 1950s.
Without warning.
Atomic Holocaust!
But making it black and white, although admittedly losing some of that charm with the warm colour tones of the original movie, somehow makes it a more immersive experience. In the sense that it turns it into one of those early classic cartoons, like the now infamous gay Steamboat Willie.
Oh, I'm a homosexual man. I'm just a gay guy. I'm a straight up gay guy.
The Cold War post-World War II allegory is heightened as it recalls the look and quality of B-movie science fiction stories, propaganda reels, or the educational films of that period of nuclear fear.
No matter where they go or what they do, they always try to remember what to do if the atom bomb explodes right then. It's a bomb. Duck and cover.
We can duck and cover. There's a fallout shelter right there.
There's no way to survive this, you idiot!
It makes it more authentic to the period, more so than what it already was. Watching Star Wars, A New Hope in black and white makes the Kurosawa influences all the more obvious. Star Wars works in black and white because the music and cinematography are constructed perfectly to hook the viewer to its story. The dialogue was never that important. Instead, it was always about the special effects. George based the spaceship battles off of World War II fighter pilot footage, using it as a blueprint for how the space battle scenes would be shot and filmed. So watching it in monochrome adds a more mythic, realistic feel to the whole thing. It's weird watching a movie from a franchise which is so dependent on colour in monochrome, because it makes it less kiddie in a way, since I'm just seeing two guys whack laser swords together rather than red guy and blue guy, which my kid brain always identified them as. But it kinda works. Return of the Jedi basically looks like battle footage of the forests of Vietnam during the 60s. The Empire Strikes Back looks like when they invaded Russia in the winter. These battle scenes that got me out of my seat when I was a kid just reminded me more now of real conflicts, because it's now stripped of its pizzazz, if you get my gist. The Thing. A classic movie that a fair amount of people don't know is a remake of a sci-fi classic from 1951, The Thing from Another World. You know, its remake is obviously the superior version, with its amazing practical effects and its claustrophobic atmosphere, and it's heightened in black and white. It's harder to identify who is who, because it is just light and shadow. It transforms the interiors of the Antarctic Research Station to appeal to be more harsh and alien and cold. The horror and grotesque imagery look insanely realistic too, because when stripped of its colour, it's a bit harder to tell what is clay and what is real, amplifying the terror.
Yeah, fuck you too!
So the monochrome, black and white, colourless viewings of these movies were great, and I recommend you try it sometime. Is it the best way to watch these movies? No, probably not. But is it a new way to experience a classic for the first time? Again? Yeah, probably. In a lot of ways, it heightens pre-existing elements that already made those movies great, but in a new light. So yeah, thanks for watching.